good? All right, today we're back with you. My name's Alan Bracken.
And I'm JD Kyle.
And we love the mountains, obviously. So today we've hiked up on part of the Appalachian Trail. And it's just absolutely beautiful. We found a place over here with these rock, and it's just amazing. But today, staying true to our intentionality, we want to talk to you about being intentional at home. And I think, JD, you've got a good story for us, don't you?
I do. We're going to get personal with you today because we're talking about personal growth. And probably the most significant and impactful personal growth lessons that I have experienced over the years was when I made the decision to become intentional about being a great father. For many years, I spent a lot of my time climbing the corporate ladder, chasing ambition and other dreams at the expense of my family, particularly my daughter. A life event occurred, and I woke up. And it was at that time that I knew that I needed to spend time with her, that I needed to be available, that I needed to nurture, I needed to pour into that relationship. It has made all the difference in the world.
Yeah. It's good that we can come to those realizations.
Yeah.
For me, it was shortly after I got married. I'm married to a beautiful lady.
Ditto.
Named Amanda.
Yeah.
And she's just wonderful, ain't she, JD?
She is. She's
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, so she's
inside and out.
Inside and out, that's right. And she's helped me more in the area of home life and growth in the area of relationships more than anybody else. And early on in our marriage, we were married in '97. Of course, I was leading and thought I was doing a good job. And
Do you have a lot of followers?
I didn't have a whole bunch, but I had some
Yeah,
at work,
some,
you know.
okay, all right.
I had more at work than I had at home, I can tell you that. So I was trying these tactics at home that I'd try at work.
Right.
You know, I say what you need to do, and then they go do it. Well, let me tell you, that didn't work out. Any of you know that are married know that doesn't work. And I had to get real intentional about personal growth in the area of who I was becoming as a husband. Now, this was before we had children, and I was not a good husband, and that's just the reality of it. And through good counseling and lots of books and being intentional about attending some events, some seminars, some studies, and doing that, I've been able to learn and grow as a husband.
Wow.
And although I have a long way to go, I have made great ground, and I'm happy to say. And we're still married. It'll be coming up 15 years this year. And
How about a round of applause?
Yeah.
Big Al, Amanda, congratulations.
That's it.
That's awesome.
And it's by the grace of God and a lot of intentionality on my part as taking responsibility on who I wanted to be. See, I was quick to blame her. I was quick to blame Amanda for not listening, for not doing what I knew she needed to do. But what I realized was I had to work on me and be intentional about me. So today we want to focus on being intentional as leaders, particularly today, men. Men in the home.
Right.
In our society and in our country right now, there's a huge need in this area for men to step up and be real men in the home. And obviously, with our focus being who we're becoming on the journey, this cannot be left out, and it has to be an integral part. So how? The question is, how are we being intentionally, and what are some specific things that we're being intentional about in developing who we want to be, the father we want to be, the husband we want to be in the home? And I know for me, I have to read. I have to read stuff with my wife, and I don't do enough of that. She reads a lot more on relationships than I do.
Right.
But we do that together. We have to spend time together. Be intentional about that. We do this thing, JD, we call couch time. When I come home, we like to just take, even if it's 10, 15 minutes, where we just sit down. Her and I, not the kids, they don't get to interrupt, and we just talk about what happened that day. So today's going to be a fun day to go home and talk to her about what we did today. But that allows us to connect, and we have to do it. And early on, I wasn't intentional enough about that.
Yeah.
But what we have found is when we connect, and it doesn't have to be huge amounts of time.
Right.
But it has to be intentional time.
Got you.
To listen to each other. What happened today?
Mm-hmm.
What was your day like?
Yeah.
And so I want to throw that out as a challenge for you men and women
Mm-hmm.
to create some time immediately when you see each other in the evening at the end of the day to connect. And this is a great reminder for me to be intentional in that area.
Alan's challenged you. I want to encourage you really quickly. You've got two real life examples of a husband, to his own admission, was not a good husband, and as a father who was not a good father. So we both have seen failure in our own mind at that piece. If you feel that you've been a failure as a husband or as a father, or if you're just not lived up to the expectations that you have of yourself, or if you're living that lie, you're kind of walking through the motions and acting like everything's good, but when you know down deep inside your heart that things ain't right, today you get a hall pass. It's okay. But what you got to do is you got to be intentional about recognizing that. Down the weeks to come, we're going to talk a little bit about the law of awareness. And that's what it's really about. In order to grow yourself, you got to know yourself. But today it's really about you being intentional and making that decision that I want to be a great father. Alan making that decision that I want to be a great husband. So I want to encourage you to take some time today and think about that. You'll be glad you did.
So think about how can you be intentional at home.